Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so once again, good afternoon, everyone. So this time we will proceed now to Module 4, and this is all about data management. And we have there the introduction for data management. Then when you conduct statistical research or investigation or study, the research must gather data for the particular variable under investigation. So to describe situations, make conclusions, and draw inferences about events, the researcher must manage the data gathered in some meaningful way. This module will introduce you to the idea of data management. So we have here a picture no, of an example of um, a data management. So for this module, we actually have 4 lessons. The first lesson is about the classification and organization of data. The second lesson is all about methods of collecting and presenting data. And the third lesson is about measures of central tendency. And the fourth lesson is about measures of dispersion. But today we will be tackling 2 lessons na lang muna. The classification and organization of data, and the second one is about methods of collecting and presenting data. So we have here the module learning outcomes, and let's go first to the lesson 1, which is all about classification and organization of data. So in this lesson, you will be able to recognize the different types and classification of data. Kaduha is to classify and characterize data, and the katulo is for you to maintain utmost perseverance in classifying and organizing data. So we have here the pre-assessment, and in our pre-assessment, I will just put this one in your assignment. So, inyo na lang ni siya answera no, in your assignment. And for our lesson map, we also have here the classification and organization of data. So, sa ato lesson map, makita nato no that um, under sa classification and organization of data, we have there the qualitative data, the quantitative data, and part of quantitative data is the discrete and continuous. And we also have the level of measurement. So, natay mga upat ka level of measurement. We have nominal, we have ordinal, interval, and ratio. Now, we also have here again the engaged part. This will be you will be engaging yourself on the classification and organization of data. So I will just be putting this again on your assignment. So maybe na may daghang assignment no. And I also forgot about your assignment about the problem solving and reasoning no kadtong sa PMI or the principles of mathematical induction. So nakalimot ko pag-post sa Flare. So na may mga tulo ka assignment. Kaya pa? Kaya ra. So this one no,
Kaya good
you
ma'am.
have there the instruction no, that you will have to search for an online or an article online and read and determine the levels of measurements of data from the article, and you will discuss your findings. So you will just be putting your article there, and then you will put there your findings and discussions no, and this is you will just determine kung unsa ning levels of measurements of data kini siya, nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. Now, for this one, of course, we will be talking about again the classification and organization of data. So we have here this what we call qualitative and quantitative data are the 2 types of data. Qualitative data deals with categories or attributes. Examples are color of eyes, ethnicity, and brand of ice cream. When we say quantitative data, these are numerical data or yeah, these are numerical data pala. So kung moingon ta na quantitative data, these are data measures of values or counts and are expressed as numbers. So from the word quantity, quantitative data is from the word quantity where these are the measures of values or counts and expressed as numbers. So numbers ang quantitative data. But when we talk about qualitative data, this is more on categories or like quality, no? Quality or categories. When we say quantitative data, are data about numeric variables. For example, now this will answer the questions how many, how much, or how often. So your answers would probably be numbers. Well, for the qualitative data, These are measures of types and may be represented by a name, symbol, or a number code. And we also have this qualitative data or data about categorical variables. Like for example, for this will answer the question, what type? Okay, what type? So we have there the qualitative data where it talks about descriptions or categories or quality, while quantitative data is for quantity or the numbers. Okay, gets or not apart? Okay, so collected about a numeric variable will always be quantitative, and data collected about categorical variable will always be qualitative. So therefore, you can identify the type of data prior to collection. So based on whether the variable is numeric or categorical. But as what I have said earlier, that quantitative data has also two types. No, quantitative data can be discrete or continuous. So again, before we will proceed to the Duhaka types of quantitative data, let me just enlighten you again with another examples for quantitative and qualitative data. So when we say quantitative and qualitative data provide different outcomes. So different outcomes are often used together to get a full picture of a population. For example, if data are collected on an annual income, that's quantitative. Occupation, no, data is for qualitative. Could also be gathered to get more details on the average annual income for each type of occupation. So quantitative and qualitative data can be gathered from the same data unit depending on whether the variable of interest is numerical or categorical. So for example, let's talk about first about the quantitative data. So this will be about numeric variable. So the questions for quantitative data is this one. How many children do you have? Of course, your answer will be quantitative or numbers, right? So it could be 4, 5, 6. Depends on the children that you have. So another question that will be for quantitative data is about how much do you earn? So your answer would be numbers. How many hours do you work? Of course, the answer will be numbers. How many square meters is the house? How many workers are currently employed? So that's still number. How many milk cows are located on the farm? So that is for quantitative data. While for qualitative data, these are more onto yung patagainan na description or quality. No? So example for this question is, in which country were your children born? So the answer is description. It could be Australia, it could be Philippines, like that. What is your occupation? So this is for qualitative data. Do you work full-time or part-time? Of course, your answer is not number. This is
Qualitative.
description or qualitative. Now, in which city or town is the house located? What is the industry of the business? Quality. What is the main activity of the farm? That is still for qualitative data. So, nga na ha, kung kuninta na qualitative data, talks about quality, descriptions. Quantitative data, it talks about numbers or quantity. Okay, now let's move on to the duha. No? So, quantitative data can be discrete or continuous. So, kuminta na discrete data is obtained through counting. No? Continuous data is obtained by measuring. Number of countries in Southeast Asia and number of courses in a school term are examples of discrete data, while weight and age are some examples of continuous data. So, discrete and continuous na sad. Kung mayroon ta na discrete, these are countable in a finite amount of time. For example, you can count the change in your pocket. Kung may ka na discrete data, countable, mabilang. Kanang mga coins sa imo kuan. That's you can count the change in your pocket, no? You can count the money in your bank account. You could also count the amount of money in everyone's bank account. It might take you a long time to count the last item, but the point is it's still countable. So again, guys, when we say discrete variable, this is a countable, no, or counting, obtained through counting, no. While when we talk about continuous variables, no, would literally take forever to count. In fact, you would get to forever and never finish counting them because it is continuous. Unsa nang continuous? Nagpadayon, no? So like for example, no? For example, you take your age. You can't count your age. Again, you can't count your age. Why not? Because it would literally take forever. For example, ngayon ta sa imo age ato isgutan ha, you could be 25 years old, 10 months, 2 days, 5 hours, 4 seconds, 4 milliseconds, 8 nanoseconds, 99 picocents, and so on. No? You could turn your age, pwede nimo ang imo age, himuon nimo si jang discrete variable, unsaon man. No? And then you could count it. For example, kung gusto nimo na mahimong discrete ang imo age, pwede ka moingon nga a person's age in years. So mahimo na si jang countable, which is for discrete data or for discrete. No, mahimo na si jang 25 years. Kaya ang gipangutana kay a person's age in years raman. No, so ang discrete data is for those no obtained through counting. So kumain ka nga, pila man mo kabuk sa age eskwelahan. Oh, there are sa imong mga classmates sa age section. No, there are 30 rami ma'am sa amo sections. Pero kung maghiskutag pila ka kilo ang baboy, no? It involves continuous data siya. Because it could be na, di ba na yung mga kilo na 4 kilograms, tas may mo diyang 1,000, 4.5, nga na, continuous data. I mean, this is for continuous data. So, after that, of course, aside from discrete data and continuous data, we also have here this classification of data includes levels of measurement data. So the levels of measurement of data are, we have the nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. So when we say nominal level, of measurement classifies qualitative data into two or more, wait lang. The levels of measurement of data are nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. So nominal level of measurement classifies qualitative data into two or more categories. It is the lowest level of measurement. Examples of nominal are the books in the library and the courses in college. So when we say about pumunta na nominal, this is just about names or mga IDs or mga categorical. Yeah, this measurement no na classify siya for qualitative data. So more onto categories. Okay, more onto categories, more onto quality. Money si nominal level. For ordinal level of measurement ranks qualitative data. So qualitative data gihapon si ordinal level, but the difference between nominal and ordinal is that i-rank nimo no ang naa sa qualitative data. For example, winners in a science quiz B. So of course natay first, second, third, fourth, no? And levels of anxiety are examples of ordinal data. So this have or represent rank or order. Kumita ordinal, no order. Naay order. Like for example, kung maghimo mo ng research, I think experience na mo ana when you were in senior high school na naamoy mga research no na naa ditoy ordinal ang gitawag na di ba nay fully agree, mostly agree, somewhat agree, ano so rank siya. Murag pinakatas ang fully agree, no, mostly agree, and then somewhat agree. Nga na ba? Murag rank nimo siya ang qualitative data. Now, for the interval level of measurement involves quantitative data that are ranked and make sense of difference. There is no starting point for this level of measurement. An example is the Celsius temperature. Ang interval data, guys, this involves measurement ini siya sa quantitative data. Okay, quantitative data nga girang and make sense of difference. So, this has a fixed size of interval between data points. So, na siya fixed size, no? Fixed size of interval. So, from the word interval. So, like from 20 to 60. Laong. So, sa interval data, wala siya gitawag na starting point. No? Pwede ka may nga interval lang from 70 to 80. Laong. Walay starting point. But for ratio level, no, of measurement does not only include those characteristics of interval level of measurement, but also starts at the zero value. It is the highest level of measurement. Example are weight, the time it takes to do a math project, and the number of absences of students in a class. So ratio level has a true 0 point. So another example for this is the mass, the length, and the decrease. So again, sa ratio level, it will always start with 0. Sa interval level, dili siya mag-start sa 0. Pwede ka mag-start sa 60 padung 70. But for ratio level, you will always start at 0. No? So kining mass, of course, you will start at 0. Dili pwede na moingon ka na ang timbang nako kay 60, pero mag-start siya sa 30. 30 mag-start ang dili pwede. No? Our mass should always start with 0. So mo nang naa kay weight or mass na nun. Mass or weight, no, na 30 kilogram ka. But for interval level, no, na kay interval na gihimo and it does not start with 0. Okay, let's have another example. So, kumenta na nominal, usually this, pwede nato siya matawag na scale sad, no? So, nominal scale or level. So, for nominal level is a naming scale where variables are simply named or labeled with no specific order. So, nominal, walay specific na order. While ordinal scale has all its variable in a specific order beyond just naming them, no? But for interval scale offers label, order, as well as a specific interval between each of its variable options. While for ratio scale bears all the characteristics of an interval scale. In addition to that, it can also accommodate the value of 0 on any of its variables. So let's have an example for nominal scale. Kumita ng nominal scale, again, it's used to label variables in different classifications and does not imply a quantitative value order. Wayay order ha, pag makita na nominal. So, pwede ni siyang, like for example, how satisfied are you with our service? With our services? Lang. So that's for nominal. It could be you're not satisfied. It could be you're happy. It could be you're sad. It could be you're angry about ko under service lang. But for ordinal, I'm sorry guys. Kato dayong ako gi istorya ordinal da ito na scale, no? Ang nominal scale is for kanang you just have to select among the quality. No, it's either for A bakaw or for B bakaw. So na mga categories nga gikuan, no, gi-present and you will just have to choose. Wayay order. But for ordinal scale, this is used to represent non-mathematical ideas such as frequency, satisfaction, happiness, a degree of pain, etc. So, amo ba dyan to katong how satisfied are you with our service? This is for ordinal pala because nani siya order, no? Pwede niyo ba satisfied, more satisfied, nga ano, so na siya order in terms sa ngana. While for interval scale, ha?
Na-rating mahitabo.
Yan, na-rate na mahitabo. So, lahira sa tong sa ratio, ha? Okay. Sa interval scale, it is defined as a numerical scale where the order of the variables as well as the difference between these variables is known. So, what is the example for this? Like for example, how many hamburgers can you eat a day? So, it could be 1 to 2. No, dili siya necessary mag-start sa 0. It could be 1 to 2. It could be 2 to 3. It could be 4 to 5. So, mamili ako na or more than 5. So, mo ang interval scale, na interval. And it doesn't usually starts with 0. While for ratio scale, it's a variable measurement scale that not only produces the orders of the variables but also makes a difference between the non-variables along with information about the value of the true zeros. So like for example, may lang ka na, rate your experience. No, you will rate your experience. No, from 1 to 10. From 0 to 10. So that is for ratio level. So sa ratio level, makuha ni dya ang tanan ng mga characteristics sa interval level. Pero na siya additional that it will always start at the 0 value. So this is for the classification and organization of data. This is for lesson 1 for module 2. Now let's proceed to lesson 2.